It's that time for another 5 Minute Murder. We're going to draw a card. We're going to talk about a killer for 5 minutes. Thanks for joining us for another episode. So, we're going to draw today. Rosemary West. Rosemary West was born on November 29th, 1953. She is still alive. She's an English serial killer who collaborated with her husband, Fred West, in the torture and murder of at least 9 young women between 1973 and 1987. She was also judged to have murdered her 8-year-old stepdaughter, Charmaine, in 1971. The majority of these murders took place on the West's residence at 25 Cromwell Street in Gloucester. Rose is now an inmate at HM Prison Newhall, Flockton, West Yorkshire, after being convicted in 1995 of 10 murders. So, Rosemary West, her and her husband Fred were like the UK's predominant sadists. These people would, it's such a crazy, crazy story. Because not only would they abduct women and young girls and bring them back and, torture them in their basement of 25 Cromwell Street, they also did that to their own children, right? They had several children and even killed one of them in doing these crimes, right? It's just unbelievable to me that you would, do that to your own children. You would rape and molest and torture and eventually kill your own kids. It's a very, very strange story. And it's one of those things, you often wonder if when you have a husband and a wife or a girlfriend and a boyfriend, a man and a woman that are engaging in this kind of activity together, you wonder who really has the control, right? Who is the one that's forcing it? There was Carol Ann Fugate and Charles Starkweather that went out, and for a long time it was believed that Starkweather kind of pushed her into it, and she had no choice. When you watch the movie Natural Born Killers, you see some of that, even though you also see that the female character ends up really kind of running the show and kind of pushing the narrative forward. And you wonder if in, couple killings, if that happens. And it does happen sometimes. It is, from time to time, the husband or the male who is really holding that woman captive, and she is having to engage in the crimes to either satisfy the partner or to keep themselves safe. And sometimes the male is holding children or other things over their head and causing them to engage in that, right? They may be abusing them physically and mentally, and then they have no choice but to engage in those crimes or protect the perpetrator. Well, in this case, that is not at all what was happening. Fred West was very much a rapist for a long time before he met Rosemary West. However, when they did meet, it was the coming together of two worlds, right? They came together and, they ended up, she pushed forward the narrative a lot. She was the one that really wanted to bring people home and wanted to kill them. So the two of them in conjunction just did terrible, terrible things to the whole community, even their own children. And she was the one that, would bring in other women to have sex with Fred and sex with her. She wanted to bring in other partners. And then they would together would torture and kill those people. So, it's just an unbelievable story. And they did all that at 25 Cromwell. And of course, that place has become very, very famous in the true crime community, especially in the UK, obviously, because it happened in the UK. but it is a famous location because of the crimes that happened there, because they had a makeshift dungeon there that they were bringing people and sometimes torturing them for days at a time before they would kill them, raping them over and over again for their own sadistic pleasure. So, yeah, Rosemary West, still in jail. Fred West has passed away. He is no longer alive. I don't remember why he died. And oddly enough, initially in the game, I didn't put him in the game. I put Rosemary in there when we released the Lady Killers expansion. But Fred is not in the world of serial killers. So at some point, we're going to have to rectify that, and we're going to have to bring Fred and Rosemary back together once again within the confines of Killers, the card game. So yeah, look forward to that coming up. But yeah, our Kickstarter is ending today. Actually, today is Thursday. It ends in about, I don't know, 4 minutes, I think, as I'm filming this, because it was about 8 minutes ago that I looked at it, and it had 12 minutes. So we've got about a couple more minutes left on that campaign. By the time you guys see this, it will be over. It is currently very successful, 170 some percent above what we were asking for. So Mass Murderers will be hitting everybody's table in just a few short months. Once they release the money and I can order all the product, we will get it to everybody. And we are so thankful that you guys continue to support us in all the efforts that we do, and getting out there and speaking, doing all of the card game stuff. We appreciate it, and we are so grateful for all of your continued support. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to release this at the end of this video. You'll see it. But our next game, I was working on it literally right before I shot this, but we have The Profiler coming soon to you, and it is a social deduction game. So lots and lots of fun. You'll have 60 minutes to figure out who the murderer is in your party. They will be trying to deceive you. You will have to figure it out and investigate different crime scenes to get the necessary information to figure out who the killer is and what kind of killer they are. That's the only way you can win the game. If not, the killer wins. You guys lose. Don't lose. So, should be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to get that out to you guys. But stay tuned. Right after I'm done talking here, you'll see the promo video for The Profiler. And we already have a website up for that where you guys can go to. It is theprofilergame.com. So go there, sign up for all of the updates and releases for that game that'll be coming. 6 to 7 months it'll be released on Kickstarter. But be ready for that. I also had another thing that I'm working on today, and we're going to release that real soon. I've got to talk to a few more people, but you all know that I love true crime, and I also love the paranormal. So just think on that for a little bit, and we'll circle back around, and I'll release that. Maybe I'll release it on here at some point. But thank you guys again for joining us. Have an incredible weekend. Enjoy it, relax, get out there, do something fun. Whatever it is you do on your weekends, go and do it, because you have to. All right, talk to y'all next week.